Last pass done, winter wheat finally in the ground. That was the high point of the day, maybe the season. Then 15 minutes later, this happened. And that's it, the final corner of the final field for this season's winter wheat, and it's done. We always leave this light land till last because it gives us a wider weather window, but it's pure punishment. You can hear the flint grinding away at the metal. It's almost torture for the machine. The drill takes some punishment and those front wheels are just being hammered. Honestly, we seriously considered bringing the Claydon out for this block just because of how abrasive this ground is on our trusty but ageing Moore drill. But the output of a 6-metre disc drill is so much more. We decided to nurse her through one final block, but she certainly earned her winter refit. Job done. All we have to do is get her home to the yard safe and sound. That's usually the easy part. This is the scene that greeted us. Jack was going around the roundabout and then bang! The tractor was being thrown from side to side. The drill flipped clean onto its side and slid along the carriageway. Seeing that huge piece of kit lying there, the only thing that matters was Jack was okay. Thankfully, nobody was hurt. You can see just how hard the drill hit the road. There were major trenches dug into the tarmac where the frame dug in and ripped up the surface. When a drill hits that hard, you can expect catastrophic failure across the whole machine. Despite the violence of the crash, some things are surprisingly intact. The rear depth locks were still in place even after taking that huge impact, and there was minimal oil on the road, so we can rule out a major pipe failure. Our only conclusion is that the front drawbar assembly failed as it was turning. That mechanism took a phenomenal beating and there is considerable structural damage right there. This wasn't just a bump, it was a fundamental failure of the drawbar assembly. We had to deal with the aftermath quickly, especially as the drill was blocking the carriageway at rush hour. Thames Valley Police were brilliant, quick to attend and very helpful getting the scene secured. But we couldn't have recovered the drill that night without the help of our neighbours. A massive thank you to Tim Mason and Archie for bringing their gear and their time to get this heavy machine upright and out of the carriageway. We were able to recover it that evening. Now the real work begins, finding the true cost of getting this old girl back to work or replaced. So this is the result of our barley preparation. And if we go down nice and low, you can see this is a coulter line here. It's it's very firm, even though the surface is friable, it's well consolidated. So this one is, as you can see, on the edge of the Chilterns, so it is chalky. The land can be a bit fluffy as well, so it's coming up. So most of our cereals have been emerging in about 5 days this year, which is pretty quick. Air temperatures have dropped quite significantly the last few days, but we haven't had much rain. As you can see, it's all pretty dry. Apologise for the dogs. We spread Avadex on this as well, so it's had a pre-em and it's had Avadex, and that will keep our fingers crossed for the wheat contamination. But pretty pleased with this result, and it really shows the difference of trying to close the slots and achieve a consistent finish over the top. Here in the final field in the sequence, we've got an example of how the drill would have left a slot like that, and whereas you can see the rest of it is nicely filled in. It's what this field walks beautifully smoothly now. It's got a nice little bit of give and generated from the two passes with the carrier before we bashed it into submission with the harrow and roll combination. So really pleased with the final result. So just a quick reminder of why we're doing this. So this is a field of winter barley. It is Maris Otter. It is a heritage variety. It's been grown for a local brewery, the Chiltern Brewery, and in order to mitigate the risk associated with hitting full milling specification, we have a contract through a maltster, Robin Appel. They act as a middleman in order to mitigate the risk for the brewery and ourselves. Not every crop of barley will achieve malting specification, especially because we're concerned about wheat contamination in this, so it's a high risk option. So we need a middleman to protect the brewer so that he can be sure that he's going to get barley to malt, and yet also encourage the relationship, the local supply contract which he's after. So we're working with Robin Appel and the Chiltern Brewery to deliver this crop of malting winter barley. Elsewhere on the farm, the crop of grazing mustard is coming along nicely. The 21st of October, and we are revisiting our crop of Vesper winter beans planted on the 27th of September into a multi-year ryegrass seed hay lay. We are renting this block from our neighbour in exchange for our land, which he is using to grow lucerne. We are interested in this land because it hasn't grown beans recently, and we increasingly achieve good yields and margins from early sown winter beans. Here there are 3 fields in this block. The field with the longest grass can be seen here with the weakest establishment, although even these missing coulter channels have beans emerging from depth, giving us hope that the missing plant population will emerge. Overall, we're really pleased with this crop so far. Morning everybody. So I am in a field of winter wheat, pretty much in the same spot that I filmed in March when we bashed in a quick crop of spring beans into straight grass. And as I described at the time, the idea was not to generate a cracking crop of spring beans, but rather to let the beans break down the sward in order to plant and establish a good crop of wheat. And that's what we have here. So really pleased with this crop of wheat. Its variety is Palladium. So we swapped over this year from X-Days to Palladium in order to maximise on the disease resistance. And fingers crossed, we'll see how this goes through to harvest. One last stop on our farm journey at the site of the coppiced hedge trimming. During the winter, we had a runaway hedge coppiced with a tree shear. We have been chasing our chipping contractor for some time, but finally they have made an appearance on farm and stayed with us for a full day in order to process all of the coppiced hedge and some additional tree waste generated by pollarding some more mature poplars elsewhere on the farm. As a reminder, we will use this wood chip to mix with our own on-farm organic waste streams to generate our own compost and to create a clean, mud-free outdoor surface for our free-range Christmas turkeys. In total, the chip generated came to 90 tonnes.